Hi, welcome to the Comfy Red Couch. My name is Tracy and I'm your host. And today I am coming to you from a scorching hot Toronto. It is September 24th and summer has finally started. It is 27 degrees, but it feels like 36 outside Celsius. So it is warm and I'm going to try to power through this episode. I've got the windows shut so that there's no wind chimes going. I've got one window at the side open so there's a bit of buzzing from I think my neighbor's air conditioning. Because it is so hot, we need to put the air conditioning on. And my house does not have air conditioning, so going to try and keep it quick. I've got lots to share though, so I won't spend too much time talking about how short I'm going to try and make the episode. As you can see behind me, Scout has decided that it's perfect weather for cuddling. And of course, on the hottest days, you've got to get as close to your human as possible. So there she is, back across the comfy red couch. You can find me as Tracy RR on Ravelry, or I am the Comfy Red Couch on Instagram. Yesterday, I decided that the Ravatar that I had been using on Ravelry was a little outdated. It was some yarn that I had taken in my garden a few years ago, and I decided to sort of make my 3 pages, my YouTube channel, my Instagram page, and my Ravelry page a little bit more cohesive. They don't share the same name because Tracy RR was not available on Instagram, and I don't want to call my YouTube channel Tracy RR. So the pirate Tracy RR. Anyway, so I've put a picture of Scout as my Ravatar on Ravelry. A huge welcome to anybody who's new to the podcast, and a wonderful welcome back to anyone who is returning. And I hope that you all have your beverage of choice, whether it's hot or in my case cold today, and you've got a project bag, and that you've got some time to just sit down, relax, and join me as I talk to you about some of the things I've gotten up to this week. And there's been lots of knitting, which has been fantastic. So I'm excited to start sharing that. So let's get started. On tea time this week, I have a very special drink that I'm going to share with you. And if you tuned in last week, you will know that our fridge broke and that we had to wait until Thursday to get our new fridge. But our new fridge has a water dispenser and an ice cube maker. Now I'm now on my second glass of water today. So today's episode is brought to you by H2O. It is so hot here, and I've just been having a bit of swelled ankles the past few days, so I just thought I'm just going to drink some water today and stick with water. I hope I don't get a massive caffeine headache. But it is so hot here that this glass had been filled with crazy ice cubes, and they are all melting. So anyway, today's episode is brought to you by water. Cheers. Anyway, I thought that's today. Fresh water from the new fridge, so that was exciting. We got the water part all hooked up yesterday, and our former neighbor is a plumber, and so he had hooked in the water on the previous machine, but the ice maker, it only had an ice maker. It broke several years ago, and so now I have ice on demand, and it's fantastic because usually I would put ice in the ice trays, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had this issue. And then when you go to get the ice, it's all gone because everybody takes the ice but doesn't refill it. So I'm happy to have an ice cube maker again, and I hope long live the ice cube maker. Yesterday, I stopped by David's Tea because it was my coworker's birthday last week, and we found out on Friday it was her birthday. I didn't know, and but I wanted to get her something special because she's so lovely to work with. And so I went to David's Tea and I bought this lovely little apple infuser, and so it's got lots of glare from outside, but yeah, it's just a little apple at the top and then an infuser, and it pops off and you put your loose tea in. And I've really been enjoying the Harvest collection and from David's, and so I bought her a Just Beat It, which I really like. It's really good, and I think it might be my favorite of the collection, although I did have the peach last night, and it was the the pear last night, and it was really good. And I also got her the wild strawberry, which is also really good. So the Harvest Collection is really good if you wanted to try out some fruit teas. So I will wrap these up and give these to her tomorrow. But, and that's all I have to share on tea time today. So, cheers. Or as Nathaniel would say, chip chip cheree. But he's not here. You are so cute. And now we're moving on to the nitty portion of this week's episode. And I am still going to combine It's a Sockness and my favorite things, although this week was a pretty good sock week. So let's start off with that, which, oh my goodness, Scout, you're not supposed to get on top of all the project bags. There we go. Okay. So, in my Busy Bird bags, my lovely Maker bag, you will remember, if you've tuned in before, that I have my lovely Mustache Yarns La Belle et la Bête colorway. And I had done chapter 3 socks back in the spring, and those are also in my bag, mainly to help me keep matched up as best as I can. And so these are my chapter 3, and now I'm doing the reprise. And last week I had not done a whole lot, but this week I got down to the heel flaps. So I'm just about to start the heel flap on these. Now these ones will not match up perfectly color-wise, but they're doing pretty well lengthwise. So they'll be a little tiny bit different. I can live with that. Anyway, so that's what I got done up to, I think, Wednesday night. And then on Thursday, I had to be on a bus for a couple of hours, and I didn't want to start the heel flap and turn the heel and that. So what I did was I popped in a different project bag the yarn La Bête. And the thing I like about the La Bête is they match perfectly. So there's the other La Bête sock. I knit to here on Wednesday night because I wanted to just not have to worry about the ribbing on the bus. And I am now at the heel flap on my La Bête sock. So I really went gangbusters on the socks this week. So I was really quite pleased with myself. So heel flaps for both, turning heels, and then gusset and foot toe. And I've got another pair of socks hopefully done in the very near future, I'm hoping. So we shall see how the week progresses. But I definitely have got some sitting at the doctor's office this week knitting to do. So I'm hoping that I can get the heel turn done maybe tonight. And then it's just gusset and a little bit of counting and then smooth sailing from there. So now I can pick and choose. Do I want to work on La Bête or do I want to work on La Belle? So anyway, 2 sock bags now, although I probably should just pop the one inside the other, since they're really the same pair. But kind of nice to work on them concurrently. And let's move on to, which one shall I share? Finished object. I have a finished object, and I did put it on. It's very difficult to try and get at your project bags when the dog is pretty much squishing the cushions down. This is the comfy red couch. So I have a finished object, and last week I shared the yarn for the finished object because it is the Erin Moore Light, and I used, I think it's Castle Glenveigh, and River-esque. And so I used these two to create the Wildflower Hill Shawl, which was the pattern for the Curious Handmade Country House Retreat that happened last week. And I was here, and everyone was there having a lovely time. And but they got this beautiful, beautiful pattern, and each of the participants got 2 skeins of the Erin Moore Light, and this is the pattern that they will hopefully make. So I love this shawl, and I love my colors. I don't think I would have chosen any other colors, although I haven't seen all of the combos that are coming up, but I just love the blue and the gray, and it really, it's so hot out. It just drapes so nicely. It sort of like a nice little hug, and again, it's an interesting construction. I haven't seen this on any of Helen's shawls before. It's got a really nice textured ridge, and it is an asymmetrical triangle, but a little bit different than anything she's done before. So I'm loving it, and I'm thinking this one is going to be a keeper for me. And the Erin Moore Light is a blend of 80% merino wool, 10% silk, and 10% cashmere. So anyway, this is my lovely Wildflower Hills shawl, and I named my project She Waves Across the Ocean because I was on this side of the ocean while the retreat was on the other side. So I waved to all of the participants, and I hope they all had a lovely time, and I wish I could have been there, but I was here, and one day I will hopefully get there. So finished object that is all nice and blocked and ready to wear when the weather cools down. And when that happens, who knows, because it is hot. So, finished object. If you're a returning viewer, you may remember this project bag, and I think the last time it made an appearance was in August. And inside is the Shawl Society 6. And for anybody who's interested, this is my bird leg bags, my Paris bag, and I just love my bird leg bags. Anyway, so this is the Shawl Society 6, and I cannot show the Shawl Society 6 pattern yet, but I can show the yarn. And if you've tuned in before, you know I've kind of cheated on this, and I showed you this gorgeous skein of Kid Silk lace by Hedgehog Fibers, and this is down by the river, and just all those lovely little colors. And I told you I was holding it double with the yarn, which it could have been a fingering weight, it could have been any, but in fact what I was holding it double weight with was the Juniper Moon Farm Harriet Great, and it's a 100% alpaca blend. And the 2 of these yarns together were a complete dream to work with. And of course I'm trying to find the end of the yarn. And I actually made my shawl a little bit bigger because I wanted to use as much of this yarn as I could, because it was just a dream to work with. So this is the remainder of, I think I've got a tiny little bit more, but not much, of my yarn that I used, and held double with this beautiful yarn. This is what it sort of looked like, and it knit up with these beautiful colors attached, and like yellows, purples, pinks, and it was just so amazing to work with. I am so excited to share with you this project on, I'm thinking October 5th, which is the same day as Isaac's birthday. It's the first Thursday in October, and I am really excited to get this all blocked up, and I think I'm going to wear it so much this winter because it's going to be so warm and cozy once it starts cooling down around here, because it's too hot to wear this now. Even in my hands it's feeling really quite warm, but I did love the combination of these 2 yarns being held together. I believe I used 3 balls of the Harriet Great and only the one, and not even the one, full of the Kid Silk lace. But I just love the combination. And for now, until I get it blocked, it still lives in this project bag. So that is a tiny bit of a spoiler, I suppose, although the yarn was released, but this is what I'm using. I am not using, I think it's Fiber Company Tundra is the recommended yarn, but I had a very, very hard time finding it. Even with the Aran More Light, I had a very hard time finding the Aran More Light. It was only available in 4 places that I could find online. And so with the Tundra, I decided to go and find something else that was similar, and I absolutely loved using the Harriet Great from Juniper Moon Farms. So I love this shawl. I cannot wait till I get it all blocked. The next project I'm going to share with you, I haven't started yet. I wound the yarn last night, and I have put it in my lovely La Bien-Aimée Fringe Supply Company field bag, and I don't want to put buttons on this one. I think I need to get a second field bag so that I can put buttons on that one, but I just don't want to put buttons on my yellow one. Strange, but that's how it is. Anyway, so inside I have the pattern for something I've been talking about and wanting to knit for quite a while, and that is all about that brioche. And I'll put the pattern details down below. This is going to be a project for Isaac, and although I probably won't have it done for him by his birthday, I am using some yarns that he chose out. And I'm using Once Upon a Corgi, and this is on the Isaac base, and this is Nice Guys Finish Dead, and that's this color here, so lots of fun pops of bright pinks and aquas and yellows and fun colors like that. And I am going to be doing the other color is going to be also Once Upon a Corgi and Isaac base in Lemony Snicket. And I've talked about the fact that Isaac and I absolutely love to watch Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix. So funny. Anyway, even though it's unfortunate, it is funny. Anyway, so this is the Lemony Snicket colorway, and I'm going to do all about that brioche, so mixing the two with these. So should be a fun, interesting project, and Isaac is excited to have these colors mixed together and have a shawl that I have made for him. So he's a fun kid. Anyway, so that is what is in my La Bien-Aimée Fringe Supply Company bag. So we'll have to see how long it takes me to get this project started and done, but it's ready to go. So that is something that will be starting up in the next few days, hopefully, and we'll see how long it takes me to do. I think it looks like it's a fairly quick project. So, and of course, Lemony Snicket, Isaac will be, chomping at the bit to have that done. And speaking of lemon, nice segue, I have my Lemon Difficult project to share with you, and we'll see how I did this week on progress. And if you've tuned in before, you will know that I am working on Kate Atherley's Lemon Difficult, and each week I've been adding a progress marker or progress keeper. I always sort of interchange them. So the first week, and I do this every week, I start at the bottom, and I'm going to do that again today. So the first week, I think I did a little bit, and then I started adding the progress markers as we went along. So I added my apple strudel progress marker or progress keeper from Little Skein in the Big Wool, and that was part of the 100 Acre Wood shawl kit. And then I added my snow cone from Sucre Miniatures, and did a little bit of work and added my little chip teacup, and that was also from Little Skein in the Big Wool. And the next week I did fairly well. I added my coconut, also from Sucre Miniatures, and I often call it the lime in the coconut. And then after a few more repeats over 1 week, I added my Grimm teacup, and this was part of a Homespun House Harry Potter Charm Club and Yarn Club that was also made by Sucre Miniatures, and another Harry Potter Charm Club. Whoops, as I flip them over. A lovely little cupcake. So little bits of progress as we go. I should probably show you how far that is along at this point. And then I was feeling, I guess, a bit like I needed some pina colada that week. And a bit more progress. This is getting a little tedious. Then I have my lovely Tom Riddle's Diary and The Fang of the Basilisk. The next week I didn't do very much at all because I have my Pink Flamingo After One repeat from Fripperies and Bibelot. And last week I added this lovely Jiggles and Beans charm, Progress Keeper, that Tracy from Nora George had sent to me. And this week, oh my goodness, there's no more to do. There are no more Progress Keepers to add. So I have finished my Lemon Difficult Shawl. So this week I went gangbusters on socks and on this project. These were the two projects I focused on the most this week. The other project that I'm doing, I did not give any love to, so we're not even going to go there. So I did a lot of the repeats, and it was funny. Yesterday, I thought I just need to do one more repeat because I had a tiny bit of yarn left over, and I kept weighing, and I guess another repeat. I think I ended up doing 4 more repeats than I thought I was going to be able to do. At the end, I was left with 6 grams of the Lichen and Lace Wildflowers and 11 grams of the Calm Waters. And I guess they just must have been uneven skeins because there was the 5 gram difference for definitely the last little bit. So all done. So I did not block it. I sort of debated throwing it on the blocking wires last night, but I just thought it'd be kind of fun to show you all of the progress that I made, and I will take the progress markers off, Progress Keepers off, and yeah, and next week I will show you a blocked Lemon Difficult Shawl. That's pretty. So, and I'm not keeping the Progress Keepers on it, just cute but not quite. So, and there's the wildflower side, and of course we've got the Calm Water side. So I haven't decided whether I will be keeping this, probably because I made the hat, and I really like the hat too in the Calm Waters. So that was the If You Like Pina Coladas hat. So there we go, a finished object, which isn't quite finished because I don't really fully consider it finished until it's blocked, and that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. So excited to finally have that. So what I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to actually pick a project and add the Progress Keepers as I go along, because I thought that was kind of a fun way to show you my progress on something that, you know, sometimes feels like you're not getting too far, but then you see it. So kind of a fun way to do that. Those are all my finished objects this week. So I am done my favorite things. Now it is time to move along to the big announcement I made last week, and that is the Spirit of Autumn Knit Along. Last week I announced the Spirit of Autumn Knit Along that I am co-conspirating with Danny of Little Bobbins. I will be the primary host because I do have the weekly podcast, and Danny will be support in the back there in the wings. And we've got some fabulous prizes for the Knit Along, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. But the Knit Along will start next Sunday, which is October 1st. I can't believe how quickly that's coming up. And the primary pattern will be the Oracle Shawl by Kristen Lehrer, and I have printed up my copy to do. I still have to decide 100% on my yarn. I'm thinking I may use the Oracle kit, but it's not fall-like, not very autumn-like. So, but I love the colors, and I bought it as a kit. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to, it's autumn today and it feels like the hottest day of summer. So I guess the colors don't really matter, do they? Anyway, so I will be doing the Oracle Shawl, but for people who've maybe already done the Oracle Shawl, or that's not something that they were wanting to work on, they can choose to work on a magically themed 2 to 3 skein shawl as well. So Oracle or Magic. And the Spirit of Autumn knit along will run from October 1st until December 20th. And it does need to be a 2 to 3 skein project. So both Danny and I will be trying our best to get the Oracle Shawl done. And but a magically themed shawl is also welcome to the mix. And any of the rules that I forget, I'll just put at the bottom here. But deadline, as I said, December 20th, 2 to 3 skein shawl, Oracle or magically themed. You can double dip, so if you are entering it into another cal, you're welcome to do that. And if you've just started one of those projects before October 1st, we will accept it, but not almost finished, but more just started. Those will be allowed. There will be 3 wonderful prizes for the Spirit of Autumn Knit Along, and one of those prizes will be a Little Bobbins bag made by Danny, and so one lucky winner will get that. And the other 2 prizes I'm providing, and one of those prizes will be a lovely skein of Cauldron of Colors yarn in an autumn themed colorway, and there'll be some little extra things put in there, some tea and goodies. And then the other prize is a skein of Boo Radley yarn that I've purchased from Nora George, and again it will also have some lovely tea and little goodies added to it. So 3 absolutely fantastic prizes that I know I would love to get. So I'm hoping that you'll want to join in with us as we knit on either the Oracle or a magically themed 2 to 3 skein shawl. And that will start next Sunday, so hard to believe, next Sunday. And I will share my yarn with you at that point, and maybe even on Instagram earlier in the week if I figure it out. So because I'll probably want to have it all skeined up, ready to start knitting on October 1st. So that's going to be a busy week next week, podcast and starting a knit along. So anyway, I hope that you're ready to join in with us, and that I'm hoping that fall might come soon because it's just so hot. This will be a knit along that we do on Instagram. Opening a Ravelry group at this point is just a little too much to take on for me. I don't even participate on Ravelry as much as I would like to these days, so to have a group that I really know I wouldn't participate as often as I would need to is just an added stress. So we're just going to do this knit along on Instagram. So the hashtag for it is hashtag Spirit of Autumn Cal, and I'll put that there as well. So sharing photographs, sharing yarn choices, and hopefully we will have lots of fun showing off our finished objects at the end of autumn as well. And that is the Spirit of Autumn Cal. Yay! On brown paper packages this week, I've put everything into my fringe supply bag, and Scout has slowly been taking over the comfy red couch, so I've had to move the bag onto my knee, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I don't dump yarn everywhere. So I have received several packages over the past couple of weeks, and I've slowly been opening them over the week rather than so things that I got like 2 weeks ago, I'm just sort of getting to now because I'm on a yarn diet and I'm trying to extend the love. So anyway, one of the things I did get was from Gauge Dye Works, and this used to be Caterpillar Green, and they've rebranded to Gauge Dye Works, and this is Concrete and Tulips. So I'm just loving the rainbow stripes, and I want to make some socks. And the other one, this is the one that really drew me in, and I had to get it, is the White Light. And just, I love these colors, the brights, and I got a super size skein of this one because I'd like to make a couple of pairs of socks, one for myself and maybe one for someone else. So, and oh, it's so soft. So these are my two things that I ordered from Gauge Dye Works back before my yarn diet started, and I finally opened those up this week. And then the other thing that I had purchased along the same lines with self-striping yarns, because they're the greatest, especially for socks, was I bought some more mustache yarns, because you must stash mustache yarns. And I got the Autumn Afterglow colorway, because I couldn't resist. It was so pretty. And in the summertime, they had the Beatlemania colorways. And this one, I kept stocking it, and I hummed and I hawed, or hemmed and hawed. I don't know which one it is. It can be both. But I just was back and forth, back and forth. And the Yellow Submarine did make it. Actually, this is called Land of Submarines, but it's basically based on the Yellow Submarine. And it made it into my cart with the mini that went with it. And I know I don't love yellow, but this has so much blue in it, and just the way it stripes up, I'm so looking forward to knitting this up. So we all love a Yellow Submarine, right? And then I had to get two of these because I wanted one and Isaac wanted one, also from Mustache Yarns, and this is the sorting hat. So I got one and I got two, and when I opened it, Isaac said, "You better have gotten me one." I did. I know my kid. Anyway, so this is the sorting hat, and I'm hoping to get to these maybe for Christmas. We'll see how the fall knitting goes. I mean, I set these big lofty goals, and I so rarely meet them, so I don't know why I tell myself that, but anyway, I loved these and had my eye on the site and was so happy when it popped back into the shop and made sure I got some. Okay, now we are at the stuff that I couldn't wait to open. It arrived on my door on Monday, and this is going to be spoiler alert for pretty much everything in here, except for the first thing I'm going to show you. And the first skein I'm going to show you, and I'm going to have to take it out of the crinkling, and there's going to be lots of crinkling at this point. This is a beautiful skein of Nora George yarns, and if you have tuned in before, you know I have a love affair with Nora George yarns because Tracy's yarns are gorgeous. And I saw that Tracy had this beautiful colorway, and I made a trade back in the summer of one of my most beautiful colorways that I had in my stash, and I now have a skein of tea time, because I need to have tea time in my life, because it's a segment on the podcast. I must have tea time. So this has got to be, and I think, Tracy, this is more gorgeous than the one I sent you, and you know how gorgeous I think the one I sent you is. So anyway, this is glorious, and tea time is mine. So I was thrilled to get this. So not a spoiler, but tradesies, and that's maybe how I've been getting some of the yarn that I'll be getting in the next little bit. So the next thing that came, and these are now, spoiler alert. Okay, so some of these I think I have seen on Instagram, but I put up the spoiler alert just in case. It is the Dracula series from the Great Characters of Literature, and I did buy the mini skein set. And the mini skein set is, over here is Van Helsing. This, I believe, is Lucy. This middle one is Transylvanian Earth. Then there is Harker, and then Mina is over here. So it's a bit of a glare. But those are the minis for the September Great Characters of Literature Dracula. And of course, you're not going to get just the minis and not get the actual skein of Dracula. So this is Dracula with a lovely little mini that goes along with it. So of course, red, black, white, perfect. And I already talked last week about how excited I am for the October Great Characters of Literature Club because it's To Kill a Mockingbird. Right, Scout? To Kill a Mockingbird, my favorite novel. So I'm dying to find out what the minis will be. And of course, I've ordered a Boo Radley for myself, and I've ordered a Boo Radley for the Spirit of Autumn knit-along because that to me is Halloween. Halloween, Boo Radley. The final spoiler is from the Mrs. Weasley's Knit Club, and this is the third in the series of the spells. And this is Alohomora, and it is a lovely, very autumn colored with little bits of purple and lovely bits of green, very autumnal and very lovely. And so this is the last of the series 5 of the Mrs. Weasley's Knit Club, and the next clubs, all a mystery as to what they will be, and they will be out, I guess, next month, and I am signed up because I really love the Mrs. Weasley's Knit Club. So, and I am so looking forward to the Great Characters of Literature Club next month because To Kill a Mockingbird, who wouldn't love that? Anyway, my basket is empty, and that is brown paper packages this week. So no true confessions this week, but I will do a quick bits and bobs. It's just so hot that I want to be able to get this episode done, edited, and uploaded quickly, and so just trying to put in the things that I would like to kind of cover this week. Anyway, it is, as I've mentioned, so hot in Toronto. First day of fall was the other day, and it was like summer, and it just seems to be getting hotter and hotter. Yesterday it was record-breaking temperatures in Toronto, and today's no different. I don't think we've had rain in about 2 weeks. Beautiful sunny days. My new office does not have air conditioning, and the sunshine comes right in, which will be great in the wintertime, but it is super, super hot right now. And the house doesn't have air conditioning either, but I'm trying to enjoy it because I know that winter will be here soon, and I really do not like snow. So hot weather, and hopefully we'll be able to get some nice weather before it turns too cold. But a nice bit of fall will be nice. Anyway, I mentioned the fridge came in the other day, so ice is all melted, and yeah, it's been great being able to refrigerate things again. It's amazing how there's not milk in the house or anything like that because you can't refrigerate it. So we went for a week without it, and we're very glad to have it installed, and I'm super happy to have the water and ice maker put in there as well. Yesterday, Isaac and Greg ran a 5K at the zoo, and Nathaniel ran the Cub Run at the zoo. And so the Toronto Zoo had a run, and Greg had been training for it since the spring, and so he was happy to finally have his run yesterday and came home with a medal. He was very, very proud of his 5K medal. And the zoo is filled with lots of hills, and I used to work at the zoo when I was a teenager. I worked at the McDonald's at the zoo, and so I remember those hills quite well, going up to the restaurant was Africa, and because they're all sort of continent themed. So sometimes I would work at North America, sometimes I'd work in Africa, and when you had to go to Africa, you had to climb the big hill, and yeah, that was a little bit much. Anyway, so that was what they did, and so I've been enjoying a quiet weekend otherwise, and getting ready for a busy week ahead. So the heat does not look like it's going to let up anytime soon. Looks like it's going to be beautiful sunny skies for the next few days. So those shorts that I put in the bottom drawer a few weeks ago, getting pulled out again, and I guess I'll be wearing some shorts to work this week because it's a little bit hot. So anyway, that's all I've got for bits and bobs this week, and I'm hoping to get some knitting done this week for the next few days so that I can show you next week. And next Sunday, October 1st, Spirit of Autumn Knit-Along starts, so I'm excited to choose out my yarn, get it all wound up, and share that with you. So, but for now, that's all I've got for bits and bobs. Thank you so much for joining me on the Comfy Red Couch this week. I hope that you've had a chance to relax and rejuvenate. I hope that if you are in a hot climate like I've been in, that you've got your air conditioning going and a nice cup of iced tea or something like that, and that you've had a chance to work on a lovely, maybe small project. And if you're in a nice sort of cozy locale and it's fall where you actually are, I hope you've had a lovely cuddle with your project and a nice warm beverage to get you through. So I wish you a wonderful week, and I will see you next week on the Comfy Red Couch. Are you going to say hi, Scout? She popped her head up for a moment. Anyway, so I hope to see you next week on the Comfy Red Couch. Bye. Time to take them off. Apple strudel. Snow cone. Chip teacup. Lime in the coconut. Grim teacup. Harry Potter cupcake. Stuck again. If you like pina coladas, getting caught in the rain, then you won't really like Tom Riddle's Diary that much if you like pina coladas. Tom Riddle's Diary and the Fang of the Basilisk. Only a couple more left. Pink flamingos. Oop. And the final one to come off, my lovely little glow-in-the-dark vampire. And now, it's blocking time. Woohoo!